There's a shocking story just a couple days ago where a woman in Oregon found what appeared to be a plea for help in a product. It came from China from someone who was allegedly in a labor camp. Turns out it's a labor camp that specializes in interning these Falun Gong practitioners, tries to force them out of their religious beliefs, force them to denounce it. Otherwise, they are forcibly drugged. It happened in the Masanja labor camp where the survivor was force-fed these psychiatric drugs. Pan Ki, really not certain about the pronunciation, but it's all here in the story, was forced to take these neuroleptic drugs after refusing to renounce. When I got to the hospital, a doctor, asked me, "Have you renounced your beliefs?" I said, "Practicing Falun Gong is good. I have no illness." He said, "If you have not, then you are a mental patient." Several people pushed me back onto a bed board. One of them fed me a spoon with medicine in it. I remember it was a blue capsule. And he put black powder in the spoon. He held my nose and put the medicine in my mouth until I couldn't hold my breath any longer and thus was forcibly medicated. This person later became unresponsive due to all the torture, but went on to describe all the other Falun Gong people who had been tortured and tried to convince out of their beliefs. Such a tyrannical system there. We have to hold on to the Bill of Rights here in America so that we have a religious freedom, so that we have the right to bear arms, so that we have the right to speak out freely, so that someday we can roll back these invasions on our privacy, these unwarranted checks and checkpoints. It's just ridiculous, and it's very dangerous. We're going to go now to Jakari Jackson's special report showing how the new DSM manual will psychologically diagnose a very wide net of people. Essentially, anyone they can label as crazy or mentally imbalanced, they can then disarm as they begin to roll out the legislation for PTSD and other mental illnesses, again, as a form of disarmament and disenfranchisement within our form of government. Here it is.
I'm Jakari Jackson for the InfoWars Nightly News. The National Institute of Mental Health has stated that 1 in 4 adults will suffer from a diagnosable mental health disorder each year. Now keep this in mind. The DSM-5, an APA publication, has stated that nearly every human emotion is a mental disorder. Everything from excitement to sadness, which is to say, you're crazy too. Let's start with this scene. A SWAT team in an armored vehicle. Surely there must have been some wicked Al-Qaeda members inside that home cooking meth. No, it was a mother who refused to force vaccinate her child. The mother stated that the medications changed the child's behavior for the worse. A SWAT team was called after a shot was allegedly fired. No rounds were recovered and the criminal charges were eventually dropped, but the child was still taken into custody. For more insight on parent-child mental health, let's take a look at this LA Times article where it links spanking your child to giving them a mental illness. And the U.S. should be able to catch such anomalies quickly as states like Texas give mental health screenings to 3-year-olds. Beyond what we've already listed, some people think more things should be added to the category of mental illness, such as...
This is out of the American Psychiatric Association, APA, which is called the Bible for mental health medicine. And this is precisely what the Soviets used to send dissidents to Siberian gulags. Oppositional defiant disorder. That equates to distrusting or rebelling against authority.
Also, those who are critical of climate change. You know, the climate change that was global cooling, then it was global warming, and now it's any type of weather shift. One young man believed in climate change so passionately that he actually gave himself a mental disorder as he refused to drink water in fear that the planet would dehydrate as a result. But you say, why would those in medicine purposely diagnose healthy people with mental disorders? Now, it could be general incompetence on the hands of the prescriber, or it could be that they're getting a kickback. As this article points out, upwards of 70% of psychiatrists are on drug companies' payrolls. Keep these things in mind as politicians clamor for, quote, mental health screenings for owning private property such as firearms. I'm Jakari Jackson for the InfoWars Nightly News.